Come with us on a $20 tour of Boston's iconic Freedom Trail. From gold domes to secret taverns, we're hitting 10 historic stops. And yes, one includes a woman playing a glass harmonica. Let's go. We start where all rebellions begin, with a squirrel and a rabbit plotting under the trees of Boston Commons. Just ahead, that golden dome, that's the Massachusetts State House. Paul Revere and his sons actually helped cover it with copper. Next up, Park Street Church. This was the site of many fire and brimstone sermons. They also stored gunpowder here during the War of 1812, so literal brimstone too. Park Street Church is also the burial site of Samuel Adams, John Hancock, Paul Revere, James Otis, and Robert Treat Paine. Many families whose lives were claimed by the fire and plague were also laid to rest at this famous historic site.
All right, guys, right here we are at the grave of Paul Revere. Hey guys, this is the John Hancock Memorial here in Boston. It's really cool. This area, not only was John Hancock buried here, but all of his servants and everyone else that helped him out. That were his.
The Omni Parker House Hotel, while not part of the Freedom Trail, was spotted along our path. This is America's oldest continuously operating hotel. It is also famous for creating Boston cream pie and Parker House rolls. That's not all. This is the place where JFK proposed to Jackie Bouvier and Charles Dickens practiced reading A Christmas Carol. I wonder if they had some rolls and pie to celebrate. Our next stop on the Freedom Trail was the Old South Meeting House. This is where angry colonists met before the Boston Tea Party. Think of it as 1770s social media, but in person. Spoiler alert, they didn't cancel tea, they just spilled it. The Old State House was next on our adventure. This colonial building saw more drama than a Netflix series. Out front is the marker for the Boston Massacre. Yes, the site's not 100% exact, but close enough to give you chills.
All right, guys, when you come to Boston, there's a medallion that marks where the Boston Massacre took place, but it's not actually the place. It's right here in the middle of this street, so they had to move it because people like myself came and took pictures of it and would get hit by traffic. So
the building with the clock on it is what used to be the Customs House. Faneuil Hall, while not actually part of the tour, was the location of John F. Kennedy's final campaign speech on the eve of his presidential election. Further along our route, we spotted the Green Dragon Tavern, a place where revolutionaries used to meet. Ever heard of the Sons of Liberty? Where whispers of rebellion once took place, you can now grab an IPA. Our official tour ended at the home of one of America's most famous historical characters, Paul Revere. Fun fact, did you know that Paul Revere was captured briefly during his ride and never actually made it to Concord? We continued following the Freedom Trail on our own after the tour. As usual, when we wander off on our own, we stumble upon greatness. A lady playing a rare glass harmonica. This unique instrument was invented by Benjamin Franklin. Seriously, is there anything this man could not do? Believe it or not, the instrument was banned at one point for being too emotional. Seriously. Next up, we found the Old North Church. Maybe this will give you a hint as to his role in American history. One if by land. Yep, this is that church.
all right, guys, in the background is the Old North Church. One is by land, two is by sea. This is where the lanterns were placed in the windows up there to let the Paul Revere and the riders know where the British were coming from by land or by sea.
Our last stop was Copp's Hill Burying Ground, one of Boston's oldest cemeteries. It is the famous burial site of Increase, Samuel, and Cotton Mather, Puritans who were famous during the Salem witch trials. It's also rumored that Phyllis Wheatley, the first published African-American female poet, is buried there in an unmarked grave. All right, guys, I'm here at Copp Cemetery in Boston. Just really, really amazing, overlooking Boston Harbor. You can see it kind of in the background over there. You know, a lot of famous people are buried here, and unfortunately, we are not sure if Phyllis Wheatley's remains are here. A lot of historians suspect that she is here. And for you guys that don't know, Phyllis Wheatley is probably the
the most famous African-American poet, you know, before the 20th century. Just amazing. She wrote a famous, she was an enslaved person, and she actually wrote letters to people like George Washington, to His Excellency George Washington. And this was the area that she lived in, and we do know that she was associated with some people that are buried here. And in many cases, they would actually, if they were very endeared to families, they would bury them in the family plot. But you know, we're not 100% sure, but a lot of historians do believe that. Hey guys, I'm here in Boston, and of course one of my favorite places, cemeteries. And this is the tomb of the Mathers family. So if you guys study any American history in depth, you'll know that they were around during the Salem witch trials. Increase was the guy's the father, and then his son's name was Cotton, and Cotton was known to have the huge library, and his son Samuel. But the cool thing was during the Salem witch trials, you had Increase, who said, man, I think this is a sham, too much bad stuff's going on. And his son Cotton he doubled down. And so you know, it's really the middle son's fault that a lot of those women were convicted.
Boston's Freedom Trail isn't just about dates and monuments. It's about people, revolution, resilience, and discovering the story of a nation. Thanks for coming with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us your favorite stop in the comments.